OpenAI has just officially entered into the AI browser competition with their new product called ChatGPT Atlas, and people are getting really excited about this long-awaited launch. But the question is it going to be living up to the hype? Perplexity's AI browser, Comet, has already been out for a while now, and they have been releasing updates to the browser quite frequently. So in today's video, we will be looking into ChatGPT Atlas and how it compares against Perplexity's Comet in 3 specific areas: summarizing YouTube videos, enhancing email drafts, and the capabilities of both of their agent modes. So I have both ChatGPT Atlas and Perplexity's Comet open on my monitor right now. So for the first task, let's look at a YouTube video and see how well it does in summarizing it. So the first thing, I'll just go to my own YouTube channel on both of the browsers. So I'll go to the Better Way channel on both. So for both of these, let's click on the most recent video. So we're on my most recent video now on both of the browsers. So let's see how well they do at summarizing. So we'll ask both of them to summarize now. And I like how Perplexity's Comet already has a default option there for me to click in. So I'll just click into that. Okay, nice. So both of them generated a quite comprehensive summary of the video. And based on what I could see here, it both seem to do equally good of a job about summarizing the video. Obviously, this is one of my videos, so I know what it's about. And looking at some of the core things that both of them talked about, seems like it's almost identical. It could look at the products that I talked about in the video, the modes that I talked about as well, and a good conclusion at the end. Seems like summarizing a YouTube video, they are both quite on par, honestly, and not too surprising of a result. I would expect both of them to do just as good of a job. But let's do something interesting here. I'd like to ask both of the browsers to tell me what they can find about the channel itself, and let's see what it can produce. That is really interesting. So Perplexity's Comet actually went into agent mode, as you can tell from this bluish highlight over the UI. ChatGPT's Atlas kind of just gave me a response based on what it could find online. Comet is actually clicking into the channel. It opened the description and it is taking out the description exactly from this modal. Now, it's interesting because I think ChatGPT actually did basically the same thing, except it didn't necessarily have to go into agent mode to do that. I think it was able to just web search and find out that answer. But yeah, interestingly, Comet had to go into agent mode to be able to find out things like my video description, the subscriber count, and published videos and things like that. So that is very interesting. To be honest, I would say in terms of finding out about a channel, I think Atlas is doing a better job from what I could see so far. It didn't have to go into agent mode to find out the things that I wanted to know about. It just did a quick search and gave me the results, whereas Perplexity's Comet had to go into agent mode to find out all this details. Although it might be slightly more detailed, I don't think it was that necessary, and it probably took a bit more processing power to do that just for a simple task. So I'd give slight bit of an edge to Atlas for that one. Now let's go into the second task. We'll now be looking at how Atlas and Comet does at enhancing my emails. So you can see here I have this example email that I wrote to myself, but it's an email chain here about a dinner reservation that I'm making, inquiring to a restaurant that I have a 3-year anniversary coming up and I would like a dessert at the end of the dinner to surprise my girlfriend. So let's see at how both of these browsers do at composing a reply. So I like how ChatGPT's Atlas has an option here to draft a reply, so I'll click that. Let's see what Comet has. Comet has the same thing, so I'll click compose a reply. Okay, so again, Comet kind of goes more towards the agentic path and actually takes control of the browser. You can see with the green highlight again. ChatGPT Atlas just gave me the response within the chat, which is fine. I can simply copy and paste it, but I like how Comet is doing the actual work rather than me just having to copy and paste. Although, you know, for an email reply, this is, I guess, technically faster, right? I can just copy this response, paste it here, and I'm essentially done. For this one, although it's doing the work for me, it is taking a bit of time. So let's see what the response will be at the end. Okay, so in the end, I had to skip the remaining steps and then it just gave me the reply within the chat. I'm gonna see what happened there. Okay, that was very interesting. So when I refreshed the page, then the response actually got... Actually, no, never mind. That was the other one. Oh, it might be because I have it here. Let me remove this draft. And then let's try that again on Comet. Okay, there we go. So now you can see that it actually opened the reply box for the email, and you can see the reason. Okay, so I see. The problem was I had the response already in the Atlas browser, and so I think that's why it wasn't able to actually create a new draft there, because I had an existing one on the other browser. So that's just my mistake. Now it was actually able to click on the reply button, open the input, and actually write it out for me there. And then all I have to do now is click send or edit it within this input box. So I think that did pretty good. I think it was just a mistake on my side of having a draft open, and so that kind of made it confused and just kept lingering on. Although I would expect it to also tell me that there seems like a draft existing or some sort of error. So that's a very interesting thing that happened that most people probably wouldn't experience, and it's just because of this test that I'm doing. But in the end, I think both of them did well. ChatGPT wasn't able to actually write it in there. Let me see if I can open this up and ask it to write something here. Let's make a new chat. Let's actually use agent mode here. I actually do see an option here. So let's use agent mode to see if it actually writes something in there. I'm gonna use the logged in thing just so I can see what it does, and whoa, this is a really cool UI that's happening. Okay, so you can see this UI now. This is what Atlas's agent mode looks like. User asked me to compose a reply, so now so you can see it did it pretty quickly. I had it open already, but it was already able to add in the email. And interestingly, it didn't have the same issue that Perplexity's Comet had, where because I had a draft existing, it wasn't able to include an email. It wasn't able to include a reply. Atlas was actually able to do it very quickly. This is very interesting. I think I like both of them. They both did it relatively quickly. I think I like how for ChatGPT Atlas, it gives me the option. For Comet, it goes immediately into agent mode, which I think I'd like the option to either just have the reply appear in the chat or ask it to go agent mode, which is what's happening with Atlas, right? First, I had the option to go just have the reply in the chat, but I also have the other option to go agent mode, which is what you just saw, and it did it pretty well. So I think for this one, I'd actually give it to Atlas. I really like the experience for that. It gives me the options, and the UI actually looked really cool for the agent mode, so I'll give it to Atlas for that one. So next, let's look into the final task of using the agent mode on Amazon and seeing how well both of the browsers do in adding items that are relevant into my cart. So I didn't add any payment information into the browsers yet, but I do have my payment information in Amazon, so I'm interested to see how it will interact there. For this task, I'm going to ask both of them about buying me relevant items for a new desk setup that I'm wanting to do. I'm going to ask them to find and add the relevant items to my cart. So first, let's go into Atlas, and I believe there is an agent mode option here, so I'll click that and then paste in my prompt there. So I want items for a new desk setup, find and add them into my cart. So I'll click go there, and I'll do the same thing with Perplexity's Comet. And let's see how both of them do. So you can see the UI has started on Atlas. Same thing for Comet now, both of them are in agent mode at the moment. So let's see what they're gonna do. Okay, so Comet is already ahead. It's searched up ergonomic office chair. For Atlas, it's still taking some time. It's still on the home page. Comet seems like it's slightly ahead so far. Okay, so Atlas opened up or searching up multiple different items for the desk setup. Comet is now on the standing desk for my new setup. Okay, now Atlas is looking into actually searching for the items. This is very interesting to see both of them actually trying to find the items. Okay, so now Comet is trying to add it to a list, which is really cool to see. Atlas is still browsing around, and I think it's more looking at what is the right one to select. Okay, you can see it actually added one item to the cart. I can't really see it, but I can tell by this changing that it added this $600 desk to the cart. Comet is on the monitor arm now. So it seems like Comet is actually doing this a lot faster. I'm curious to see how they took into account things like price or sizing of the items. So now Atlas is on looking at the chair, while Comet is now on looking at a keyboard and mouse setup. It's been added to the cart. Atlas is looking at a chair now, a very specific looking chair. I wonder that most likely would have been from the search that it did at the very beginning. It seems that the search didn't execute. I type interesting, so some search are not necessarily working for Atlas, it looks like, but Comet feels like it's just really flying ahead. It's on a desk lamp now even, so now it's really on the accessories, while Atlas is still on kind of the main things of a desk setup like the chair right now. Okay, so now we have Atlas looking at desk mat leather, looking at a keyboard mat for the desk setup, and Comet is at I think it's still trying to finalize the desk lamp now. Interesting. So I can see Atlas is actually reasoning through why one might be better than the other. For example, here it says the Nordic leather desk mat offers the cable organizer feature we want, which I didn't really say anything about that, but I think it's really trying to see what would be useful for a desk setup, which that definitely would be. So now Comet is on a mouse pad, so it's really going into the smaller accessories now. But it seems like Atlas is catching up now, looking at the cable management kits. Both of these browsers are really going in depth, not just staying high level at like a monitor, mouse, chair. It's really going into the detailed accessories as well, which is really good from both of them. Comet might be having trouble with the lamp here. Let's see, it's going back to it again. And oh, actually, okay. Atlas seems to be almost done. It's actually at the shopping cart page now, while Comet is maybe still searching. Let's see what it's saying. I'm back on the results page. I can see that cart. It seems like it's having trouble at the desk lamp level, which is really interesting to see. It was doing very well at the very start, but okay, now we're on the shopping cart page as well. So you can see Atlas actually messed up on scrolling too far past, but okay, actually, Atlas just finished. So let's see what it gave me while Comet is still in the process of adding and finally finalizing everything in the cart. So for Atlas, it gave me a $34 cable management kit, $33 desk mat cable organizer. That's pretty nice. It went for a $600 chair, and it's really interesting. I wonder if it purposely went for the 20% discount option. This one. Oh, so it's reflecting Tech Radar's advice. So it actually looked up reviews, and based on that, it picked it, which is really interesting. And then it picked a $660 desk. And this one is also, so these are all kind of based off of a website and just reviews, which is really interesting to see. So it wasn't just random or the first one that it picked. It looked at reviews, which is I think what we saw at the very beginning, and then reasoning through all the different options, picked the best one. So now we can see Comet also finished, and for some reason it didn't take me to the actual shopping cart. I'm still on the adjustable desk page, but let's go to our shopping cart and see what it did. And we can see the total for this one is $500 only, which is substantially lower than what Atlas gave me. Let's see what it did. So it got me a $139 desk, which is, yes, it's a lot cheaper than what Atlas did. It gave me a $16 lamp, $18 paper organizer, $8 mouse pad, $15 cable organizer, some $21 keyboard and mouse combo, I think holder, a $25 monitor, $200 monitor. Oh, sorry, $25 monitor arm, and this is a $200 monitor, and then a $100 chair, all coming up to $500 in total. While Atlas gave me something that's $1,300 around. Now, I'm really curious if Comet actually looked at reviews. Looking at the source, I think it didn't do any of that. So I think this is just purely optimizing for price. While Atlas was actually looking at reviews, you can see through the links here and the sources, is looking at reviews and then pick the best option. So I think both of them did really well. I think Atlas had, I think Atlas finished slightly earlier, but Comet wasn't too far off. The main difference here, interestingly, I think Comet optimizes for getting the cheapest items, whereas Atlas optimized for looking at the most quality and most reviewed items and then picked those items based on the search. So Honestly, this one, I think I just give it to both of them. It really depends on what you want. Hopefully you can configure both of them to what you need as well. If you prioritize reviews, or if you prioritize cheaper options, then you should be able to tell them as well. But just based off of out of the box, I think both of these, but I think just from the default settings, both of these did really well. I like how fast Atlas was. I like how cheap I like how Comet really went for the cheap options. I think I'll just give both of them a point for this. This was really well done, and it's really cool to see the UI, and you can see the cursor clicking on things and searching on things, and you can see the reasoning as well. So both of these did a really good job, I think. Overall, I think both of these browsers are really good at what it does. If I had to pick one right now, I would say I would continue to use ChatGPT Atlas, just because it's a newer one from OpenAI, and I really liked how in its agent mode, it was actually looking at reviews and then picked the items. But I think overall, both of these browsers did really well in summarizing YouTube videos, helping me write emails, and adding items to a shopping cart in Amazon. I think in the end, it just comes down to preference, but I'm really curious to see what else is going to be happening in this AI browser competition.